the CEO and founder of Maverick in Mexico. Welcome and join me as I take you on a little tour of Centro during Dia de Muertos preparations. We are on, I think, Cinco de Febrero right now, and look at this beautiful street with the Pato Picado for Dia de Muertos. And I just love how you have the beautiful shadows coming across it. It's absolutely beautiful. It makes a beautiful, nice, breezy sound. We love Dia de Muertos, such a great tradition and holiday here in Mexico in general, and very, very beautiful. We are in front of the Governor's Palace of Querétaro. This place is very important because this was the former home of Josefa Ortiz de Domínguez, one of the important people and women of Mexican resistance. So let's go check it out. This is why I love walking around in Querétaro in Centro Histórico, because you see things like this. So this is an art installation by a British artist called The Moon. And it is many, 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 many pictures that were taken from the moon and was made into this art piece. Absolutely amazing in one of my favorite jardins, Jardín Guerrero in Centro Histórico. Today is October 29th, and I am here in Centro to show you all the preparations for Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. I'm sure many of you know this holiday, but also tradition more specifically, not really a holiday, and why it's so important in Mexico. It's a day to honor those who have passed in your family or your friends or in your environment, the people that you love. It's a way to kind of give an offering for them to, in a way, come back to life and to you in that moment, on that day. And mostly an offering where you build altars and you give them a path through the flower of the cempasúchil to come back to earth for that day and eat their favorite foods and drink their favorite drinks and be there in spirit with you and your family in your home. It's a tradition that I have become more immersed in since moving here. And for me as a non-Mexican has brought a lot of beauty to my life because I didn't have a tradition where we honor those who have passed like that. And so as a non-Mexican, it has, as I said, brought a lot to my life where I have built my own altar in the past. I have had my photos of my family and friends who have passed. So it is a tradition that the Mexican people have brought to the world that all of us can learn from, even as non-Mexicans. Even though you are maybe watching this from the United States or from somewhere else and Day of the Dead is not a tradition, I implore you to, on November 2nd, every year, to honor those who have passed and build an altar and put out their photos and give them their favorite foods or their favorite drinks or whatever they loved, so that at least on that night, they come back to you. So I want to show how the beautiful preparations are done here in Centro with all the love and respect that I have as a foreigner living here in beautiful Querétaro, Mexico. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the cempasúchil flower, which is a obviously very important flower in Mexican culture and specifically for Day of the Dead. It's this beautiful marigold flower and beautiful color. And I think the most important thing to know about it is that, one, you will see it everywhere during Day of the Dead, and specifically in this bright orange color. You'll also see other variations. But traditionally, it's this color. You'll see them everywhere. And why are they so important during Day of the Dead? It's because they are the guide. They are the path where your loved ones who have passed follow on that day to get to where you are, to get to that beautiful altar where you have offered them their food and their drinks, whatever they loved. And that is the thing, to make that connection between the world of the dead and the world of the living. So this is why this flower is very important, because it is the guide. Going back to what I was saying before about how I'm celebrating and appreciating this tradition as a non-Mexican, for me, it's really the idea of never forgetting. And we say that phrase a lot in the United States, never forget. But here in Mexico, they don't forget. When people pass away here, they are never, ever forgotten. It's not just you have the funeral and that's it. No, there's a day to officially and on a nationwide level honor people who have passed. And I think that's very, very powerful. And as I said, something that I think that a lot of cultures can learn from. Mexico is not the only culture that has this type of tradition, but me as an American, it's not something that we really do, right? Halloween, which when you look back to the actual tradition of it and the history of it, is very close to that in many ways, but not really. But now has become something obviously very commercial. We cannot compare Mexican culture and American culture. But I do have to say that this is what I appreciate the most about how much Mexicans really care about family and how family is very, very important here, how children are very important here. And this tradition is a perfect example of this. This is a beautiful example of the archway. And the archway in Day of the Dead represents the passage between the world of the living and the world of the dead. And this is such a beautiful example in this beautiful Mexican pink. We are in Plaza de Armas, my favorite plaza. And here for the Day of the Dead celebrations, the municipality actually let the artisans show their wares here because there was some conflict between local businesses that sell artisanry and the artisans, the Otomi artisans for the most part, who are selling traditional Querétaro artisanry. So here you're going to see some of the beautiful Lele dolls and a lot of the amazing artisanry that Querétaro state has to offer. I am standing in the middle of Jardinzenia, which I could say is not the official Zócalo of Santiago de Querétaro, but is very much so. And of course, in many Zócalos throughout Centro Históricos in Mexico, you have the gazebo. And it's also very, very big, and I think we can consider it as the Zócalo of Santiago de Querétaro and Centro Histórico. And I'm standing in front of this beautiful fountain within the Zócalo, and I want to talk here about what water means in Day of the Dead. So when the family puts water on the altar of the Day of the Dead, it's to quench the thirst of the spirit of their loved one who has passed, because that spirit has made such a long journey from the world of the dead to the world of the living for that day. So it represents purification and it represents rebirth.